Good morning. Good morning. I am Gib Metcalf, and I am honored to serve on the governing board here at First Parish in Concord. We are a welcoming Unitarian Universalist congregation that seeks ways to deepen spiritually, to build community, and make a positive difference in the world. We welcome all who are gathered in our historic sanctuary here today and everyone joining by Zoom, either from the comfort of your home or wherever you might be. We welcome you with all the identities you carry, with all the beliefs you hold and don't hold, with all of your questions and all of your doubts. We welcome you with all the gifts you bear, with all the burdens you shoulder, with all of your joy and all of your heartache. If you are new or visiting for the first time, our wonderful ushers in the back are here and ready to assist you. Special welcome to families with children. This morning, there is no Little RE, child care for preschoolers, or religious exploration program due to the winter break. Children are always welcome in our services. There are soul work supplies in the vestibule, including pipe cleaners and coloring pages. Adults may use them too, if you'd like. There's also plenty of wiggle room in the parlor downstairs where young children may play and caregivers may watch our service live stream, and the ushers in the back can guide you if you need directions to the parlor. Little RE and religious explorations will resume next Sunday. Zoom participants are invited to stay online after the service for a time of conversation and fellowship. And all who are gathered in the sanctuary are invited to stay for coffee hour in the parish hall downstairs, either down those stairs or in the back downstairs, and we have an elevator through that door to my right. Invited for coffee hour in the parish hall downstairs, and for those who prefer a quiet space to reflect on the themes of the service, you are invited to our worship sharing circle on Zoom and in the Brooks room immediately following the service. And the Brooks room is down the stairs and through the hallway in that direction. First Parish is a lively congregation with many ways to get connected. Please check on the bulletin that's inserted in the order of service for upcoming opportunities. I want to also take a moment to introduce our guest preacher this morning, Rumni Saha. Rumni Saha considers herself to be a proud Hindu and a fierce Unitarian Universalist. She has been a long-time public school educator, a newspaper columnist, and a regular contributor to the Huffington Post. After recently going back to school to get her Master's of Divinity degree at Boston University School of Theology, Rumni now serves as both the Hindu and UU chaplain at Wellesley College. She also cherishes her time as the interfaith chaplain for a nonprofit organization doing community ministry, hospital chaplaincy, and interfaith work. Rumni was recently welcomed into preliminary fellowship as a minister with the UUA and will be ordained on May 30th. So welcome, Rumni.
Thank you.
I also want to welcome Eric Hunnicky, our emeritus organist, who's back playing with us today, and Nancy Ackerman, a superb, wonderful clarinet player. And Nancy tells me that the first musical offering was a piece by Robert Schumann, which was a Christmas gift for his wife Clara. So it's an appropriate piece to be playing today, this first Sunday after Christmas. Finally, a very special welcome for those joining us from our neighboring church, First Parish in Lexington. It's wonderful to have you with us, and as we continue to strengthen these consortium relationships. So welcome to you all as well. Welcome once again. To gather and worship is a sacred act, and your presence among us is a blessing. We are glad and grateful that you all are here. Now, as Rumni joins me in lighting our flaming chalice this morning, a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, please join me in reading our unison chalice lighting words from Reverend Howard Thurman that is in your order of service. I will light candles this season, candles of joy despite all the sadness, candles of hope where despair keeps watch, candles of courage for fears ever present, candles of peace for tempest-tossed days, candles of grace to ease heavy burdens, candles of love to inspire all my living, candles that will burn all year long. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our opening hymn this morning, Gather the Spirit. It's hymn number 347 in the gray hymnal.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Good. So our story this morning is called Meena and the Little Blue Leaf. It is a folk tale from India. So every morning on her way to school, Meena walked the same path, past the same tall trees, the same busy village street, and the same broken down gray fence. She hardly noticed any of it anymore. She usually looked down at her shoes, kicking small rocks as she went. One day, as Meena hurried along, something caught her eye, not with a shout, but more like a whisper. Something bright, something blue. There, in the corner, lay a little leaf. But it wasn't green like the other leaves, or brown like the crunchy ones. It was the soft, shimmering blue of the sky just before sunrise, a blue she didn't even know leaves could be. Meena stopped walking. She bent down. She stared. "How are you blue?" she murmured to the leaf, as if it might answer. Just then, a small breeze lifted the leaf, flipping it over to show tiny speckles and swirls, patterns she had never seen before. Mina felt her heart do a funny thing, a little whoosh of surprise and delight. A grown-up walking by said, "Come on, child, you'll be late for school." But Mina didn't move. The blue leaf felt like a tiny secret, a tiny gift, something the world had put right there in front of her just for noticing. She picked it up gently and held it in her palm. And suddenly, everything around her looked different. The fence? It wasn't gray or warped anymore. It had shadows dancing across it. The tall trees, they rustled like they were whispering stories to her. Even the air felt more alive, like it had been waiting for her to pay attention. At school, Mina showed her teacher the leaf. Her teacher smiled. "You found wonder," she said. "Wonder is what happens when you pay close attention. It's the world's way of saying there is more here than you think." Mina looked at the blue leaf again. She felt warm and curious inside. That afternoon, walking home, she was alert. She wasn't looking down at her shoes anymore. She was looking for wonder. And she found it in a tiny spider web glowing in the sun, in the sound of a crow cawing from a rooftop, and in the way the wind made her hair dance across her cheeks. And that day, Mina was not the same anymore. The world had always been full of wonder. Mina had just remembered to notice it. And that is the power of wonder. So now my question to you is, if Mina were traveling to church with you this morning, walking, driving, rolling, or however you got here, what do you think she would notice first? No answer is wrong. So feel free to chime in. Yes? The sparkle on the snow, beautiful. Blue sky, wonderful. I'm sorry? The warm sun. Sorry? Every tree, absolutely. Wonderful. Ice patterns in the driveway. Yes, there is birds singing. Oh my goodness. A crow calling in the distance. Yes, wonderful. Dust motes in the sunlight. Wow, beautiful. A couple walking hand in hand. People coming together instead of splitting out. Yes, so important, right? Especially today. Yeah. Lots of smiles. I love that. I love looking at all the smiles on your faces. Beautiful. Yes, there is so much to notice. Yeah. If only we want to. Well, thank you. And now we're going to have a musical offering.
was lovely. Thank you. As a community of faith and spirit, we share in each other's joys, we bear witness to each other's sorrows, and we take on the prayers of one another's hearts. Now is the time in our service where we take some time set apart to lift up those things that are on our hearts this week. Jim and Dana Snyder Grant are mourning the loss of their cat Roxy, put to sleep on Monday, December 22nd, after experiencing a return of cancer. Jim is recovering from a gallbladder removal on Tuesday, December 23rd, after having spent 3 days at Emerson Hospital for a diagnosis. And they are both recovering at home with supportive neighbors, and cards or emails are welcome. And it's a pleasure to see Jim and Dana in the sanctuary today. We are deeply saddened to share the news that Lynn Randall died midday on Friday, December 26th, surrounded by 3 generations of family. Chris Randall shares that her passing leaves a big hole in their hearts. And now, as you feel moved, you're invited to type into the chat box if you are online, or share aloud quietly from the pews if you are here in the sanctuary your own joy, sorrow, or prayer that you are holding today, or the name of someone close to your heart this week. And let us now hold a moment of loving silence for all that has been shared and for those prayers that still remain in the quiet corners of our hearts. Amen.
I now invite you to arrive fully in the moment. Take a deep breath in and let it out gently. One more time, a deep breath in and out gently. Look around this beautiful sanctuary. Feel the presence of this wondrous community around you. If it feels right, maybe offer a small wave or a gentle smile to someone else on this journey with you. Now you may close your eyes, or if you prefer, soften your gaze on something nearby, perhaps the ground beneath you. Settle into whatever posture feels most comfortable as we listen together to these words by Nathan Ryan, a Unitarian Universalist minister in Louisiana, called A Renewed Hope for This World. A renewed hope for this world, be it real or metaphor, whatever is in your backpack or your briefcase or your purse that you've brought into this sanctuary that is weighing you down, leave it behind. Whatever you are carrying that is keeping you distracted or caught up in shame or guilt or hopelessness, leave it behind. If you need it, it will be there when we're done. But for this hour, just let it go. Come into this place with open hearts. Come into this place with a soul that has remembered how to be tender again. Come into this place with a renewed hope for this world. Come into this place ready to build a world we've always been worthy of and have always dreamed of. You may now open your eyes if you close them and slowly come back to this space. May these words linger with you, settling not just in your minds, but in our bodies and our hearts. Let us carry that renewed hope with us as we continue in worship.
Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. Just to live is holy.
Each month, our Sunday plate collection is shared with a group that is nominated by members of our congregation. And I'd like to invite Lori Van Loon up to the pulpit to say a few words about this month's recipient group.
Good morning. I want to start by telling you about my inspiring friend, Tony. In case you didn't know him, I mean, he would have hated that word, inspiring. It was all about the work. Tony Rodriguez was a passionate and effective advocate for immigrant rights. He prompted me to volunteer at a Texas detention center 8 years ago. He inspired us here at First Parish to start our immigrant-focused social action group. He motivated some of us to go to the border to experience migration for ourselves. He fought for immigration justice in so many roles outside First Parish, too, and one of these was guiding the development of the Mabel Center. Their executive director, Jill Sieber, told me they couldn't have done it without him. Tony knew that legal help is essential for asylum seekers to have any hope of success. Lawyers at the Mabel Center have represented hundreds of women and children, clients with horrifyingly violent histories of torture, abuse, and death threats. They take on these emergency Boston area cases for free. Mabel was a real person. She was their first client. Since Tony's death, an anonymous donor created a special program in his name so that Mabel Center lawyers can also travel to the southern border to fight for these special clients. In tent courts at the border, the rate of success for asylum cases is 0.1%. We know this in no way matches the number of legitimate persecution claims, especially among women and children. So many flee to save their lives and then have no one to plead their cases. The number of asylum seekers needing legal help increase every year here and at the border. So please give generously. Half your contributions go directly to the Mabel Center's mission, the other half to First Parish's financial health. Thank you.
So my reading today, excuse me, is titled Jibon, or Life. It is by the acclaimed writer, poet, and philosopher Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore is from my home state of Bengal in India. He was the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize for Literature at a time when the British were ruthlessly ruling over India. The Tagores are also the original Brahmos, or the Unitarians of India. The poem is also his translation, Jibon, life. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and of death, in ebb and in flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood this moment. I'm going to get a sip of water. So my reflection or sermon today is titled, Fireflies and Fungi, What Glows and Grows in the Dark. What a year this has been, hasn't it? As we come to the end of 2025, I have been reflecting on the fire hose of cruelty that has been unleashed from our elected officials and the senseless tragedies that could have been avoided, feelings that have seeped into our public life, our day-to-day conversations, and even our imagination. It feels overwhelming, disheartening, and at times it is hard to envision the year ahead with any real sense of hope. So, as I was thinking about what to share with you today, I asked myself, what do I need, not just to survive, but to thrive in the coming year? At a time when so many of us are hurting, how and what is something I can genuinely share with you that could possibly soften the harshness, steady our spirit, and point us back towards life? As I sat at my computer, staring at the keys, hoping that the words would write themselves, I caught a glimpse of something flickering outside my window. It disappeared just as briskly as it had appeared, but that tiny sparkle was mighty enough to transport me back to one summer night several years ago when I had dragged my reluctant boys to the Blue Hills for a night of firefly watching, an event hosted annually by the Audubon Society. We hiked soon after the sun went down, the sky a darkening wash of blue and purple, and waited in the quiet as it got pitch dark, trying to imagine what we might see and hoping to catch a glimpse of at least a few fireflies. And then they came, 1, 2, 3, and then hundreds, and then thousands, tiny golden lights blinking in rhythm, rising and falling like brilliant stars scattered across the hills, too many to count. My boys were awestruck, even my cynical teenager. At first, they pointed, whispering softly, barely containing their excitement, as if these magical beings would disappear if they heard their voices. Look at that one. Look at that one. until they kept coming and they could barely keep at it. And in that moment, I realized I had forgotten how it feels to be completely astonished. And for those few minutes, my own heart felt lighter, my mind wider, and the world more alive. That day, the fireflies reminded me that wonder is never gone. It is only waiting for our attention, our slowing down, our willingness to be surprised. Reminiscing about that firefly-filled night brought to me the answer of what I would like to offer to you today. That answer is wonder. Wonder is something we already have in our toolbox. Sure, for some of us, it may be a little rusty, but it can easily be sharpened to be used often, particularly in times such as these when hope wears thin. With adulthood comes worries, news about the world, bills, emails, deadlines, and the constant sense that there is never enough time. And the more responsibility we take on, the narrower our gaze becomes. Before we know it, we're moving through life in straight lines, head down, eyes fixed on the next task. Mary Oliver gave us, quote, instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it, end quote. Simple, it seems, doesn't it? But paying attention, real attention to be astonished, requires a softness most of us don't give ourselves permission to have. And yet, if we are honest, we hunger for wonder. We long for something that cuts through the noise and reminds us that we are connected to a vast, mysterious, shimmering world. And by the way, wonder is not some isolated, disconnected feeling. There is an unmistakable theological heart of wonder. In Unitarian Universalism, wonder is not an optional extra. It is woven into our very theology. Our faith invites us to dwell in the interdependent web of all existence, to approach the world with humility, curiosity, and reverence. Wonder, therefore, is a spiritual practice that says, I don't know everything. I don't have to. Mystery is not a problem to be solved, but a truth to be honored. Our tradition, rooted in science, reason, art, and spirit, knows that the more we learn, the more there is to be astonished by. Humanists speak of awe as a doorway to ethical living. Buddhists call this shoshin, or the beginner's mind. Shoshin in Zen Buddhism refers to an attitude of openness, eagerness, and a lack of preconception, even when studying at an advanced level. Hindus speak of darshan or darshana as the sacred act of truly seeing. In fact, the Hindu community at Wellesley College is called darshana, aptly called darshana. In the Islamic tradition, the phrase aqal al-walad, the heart of a child, likens the ideal state of mind to that of a child, full of curiosity and wonder, unburdened by the prejudices and cynicism that come with age and experience. In Judaism, the word hineni declares, "Here I am." It is used to signify a state of total readiness, complete availability, and an attentive, willing heart, especially in response to a divine call. It goes beyond a simple, I am here, conveying a sense of profound surrender and willingness to serve, as seen in biblical instances where figures like Abraham and Moses responded with hineni when called by God. Wonder, therefore, is deeply spiritual. And at the same time, wonder is an act of resistance. We live in a world that thrives on urgency, cynicism, and distraction. A world where bad news arrives faster than we can absorb it. A world that tells us to keep moving, keep consuming, keep worrying, and keep fearing each other. And it is wonder that disrupts that disheartening and harmful narrative. When we let ourselves be awed by something, the night sky, the lines on a leaf, a blue leaf, frost on the window, a moment of kindness, or by someone, perhaps one who is different from us, who looks different, speaks a different language, has different abilities, or one that does not belong to the category of Homo sapiens, like the tiny firefly, we become less available to fear. Awe makes us more generous, more connected, more open to others. In a time of polarization, injustice, and grief, wonder, therefore, becomes a way of reclaiming our humanity. So, how do we return to wonder this day and beyond? Well, a couple of things. First, we need to slow down. Someone I met at a work luncheon this summer told me that Fridays are pizza days, pizza night at her home, and there's always one pizza topped with fresh mushrooms foraged from right there on Wellesley's campus, which she described as steaming with fungi. Then she began listing them with delight: chanterelles, hen of the woods, oyster mushrooms, lion's mane, morels, chicken of the woods, black trumpets. Surprised and honestly shocked, I admitted I had never once seen a mushroom on campus. She smiled and said that if I just looked around while walking, I too would find them, just like the many co-workers she had coached into becoming casual foragers. And was she right? After that conversation, I too started to notice mushrooms scattered across the woods and the lawns, underneath the trees, suddenly and quietly appearing out of nowhere. Yet, in my hurried way of moving through campus, I had never seen them before. Sometimes, even when they were right beside my path, I am sure I had looked straight through them. I share this story because slowing down enough to notice is the first step to wonder. Not for an hour, not even for 5 minutes. We must learn to slow down one breath, one moment at a time. Wonder begins with noticing what is already there. The second way of returning to wonder is by asking questions with sincerity. Every morning, I wake up with my mind already running, but I bet I'm not the only one. Even before my feet have touched the ground, I find myself already anxious, asking myself, what do I need to do today? What's wrong? What needs fixing? What's next? But wonder begins with a different set of questions. What is unfolding? What is mysterious? What is calling for my attention today? Yes, still questions, but reframed. Replacing judgment with curiosity can change everything. Curiosity opens the door to compassion for others and for ourselves. And now for the third how, intentionality. Intentionally choosing encounters with mystery. It is a practice. It doesn't have to be grand. We can go outside and look up at the sky. We can light a candle in silence to create a sacred space. We can listen to music that cracks something open in us. We can take a walk without a destination and let ourselves be surprised. Mystery lives close to the surface. We are the ones who bury it. Last but not the least, we can and must wonder together. We often think of wonder as an individual experience, but wonder is something we create together. Wonder deepens when shared. In congregations like ours, wondering together is one of the quiet miracles of spiritual community. It happens in worship when we let a question hang in the space between us. What does it mean to live a meaningful life? When we sit in silence after a reading or listening to a prayer, letting a question float in the air. What does it mean to be human in this moment? No one rushes to answer. We sit with it. We breathe with it. And something in us opens. It happens in religious exploration when children and adults gather together and answer questions. Was the leaf really blue? Why should I choose wonder? Tiny questions, yes, but it's actually a doorway into how we all want to live. We wonder together in our justice work too, when we gather for a march or a vigil and ask, what kind of world are we daring to imagine? Not the world we have inherited, but the one we are brave enough to build. We wonder together even in our most tender pastoral moments, like today during parish concerns, while sharing joys and concerns, when the whole room leaned in. We feel one another's hope, joy, grief, and longing. And suddenly, the mystery of being human doesn't feel so heavy. These moments, small, unplanned, sacred, remind us that revelation is not something we pursue alone. Revelation is relational. One of the quiet gifts of wonder is the sense of smallness it brings. Smallness, not insignificance, but humility and belonging. In awe-filled moments, we remember that we are part of something vast. We remember that we are not alone. We remember that even in what seems like hopeless times, there is hope, there is beauty. We remember that even in uncertainty, there is possibility. Wonder gives us permission to rest, to breathe, to hope, to soften. So, as this year closes and a new one unfolds, I invite us to return to wonder, not as a task, but as a way of being. Let us let ourselves be astonished, be interrupted, be met by mystery. May wonder find us, and may we make room for wonder. May it be so. friends. As you go from this place, may you carry with you a tenderness for the world, not because the world is gentle, but because you are. When the world feels unrecognizable, may wonder remind you that another world is still possible and that you are part of its becoming. So go with curiosity, go with tenderness, go with holy astonishment. And may wonder be your guide and your companion always. Amen. Shanti. May peace and wonder be with you.
For our final song this morning, I invite you to rise with me and maybe to stretch a little. We've been sitting for a while. Move around. This song is called This Joy That I Have by Shirley Caesar, and it has been made more popular by the Resistance Revival Chorus recently. So if you don't know it now, you will in a few minutes. It goes like this. And I might add some words in, so just pay attention. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. You're welcome to harmonize as we do this. This joy again. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This strength that I have, this strength that I have, the world didn't give to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love that I have, this love that I have, the world didn't give to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This peace that I have, this peace that I have, the world didn't give to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This wonder I have, this wonder I have, the world didn't give it to me. This wonder I have, the world didn't give it to me. This wonder I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it. Here we go. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Please now join me in giving and receiving the traditional benediction of this congregation as printed in your orders of service. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person, no evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Please be seated for the postscript.